the fearlessness that you have is just, I'm in awe of this swimming with the sharks that you did.
Yeah.
Did you see him swim with the sharks? Did anybody see that? It was amazing.
It's cool. Well, you know, because about 90 million sharks. This is me with the great white sharks, and there's one guy on the planet basically who swims without a cage with great white sharks, and he took me down, and that's me clinging to the rock, scared, looking around. But it's incredible because you see the sharks before you go in the water, and there's no cage, there's nothing, and it's just you and the sharks, and it defies everything. This is this guy who, look, he actually touches these great whites. It's unbelievable, this guy, Mike Rudson. But right before
This is Planet in Peril, the series that he does.
Right, this was for this documentary series, and this is off the coast of South Africa. And you're on this boat, and you see the sharks, and you see their fins moving around, and you're about to step in the water, and I turned to the guy, I was like, well, do you have any advice? And he said, project confidence, which I don't know how you do that underwater through scuba gear. But it turns out great whites actually do not like scuba air bubbles. So the other thing he said is hold your breath. But what he didn't tell me is that I was so nervous as the sharks approach that my heart was beating so fast it's impossible to hold your breath. So I ended up actually gulping for even more air. And then the sharks get nervous, and so they open up their mouths and like flex their teeth, which is the last thing you want to see in a great white as it approaches you.
Wow. Yeah. Because I can't imagine what that fear would be. I mean, because how do you not just freak out?
Yeah. Well, it's exhilarating, yeah, without a doubt. And the other problem was I'm not a very good diver, and my weight belt fell off. So I was like struggling and breathing, and that's the last thing you want to do, because you look like a wounded seal.
Exactly.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So, and how is that... did you do it? No, you did it a few times, right?
I did cage diving a couple times, and then we did this. But, you know, the reason we were doing this is because people don't know much about sharks. Everyone's so scared of sharks that they're being slaughtered at a huge rate. About 90 million sharks are killed every year, and the way they're being killed is they're caught in these nets, they're pulled out, all their fins are just cut off, hacked off while they're alive, and then they're dumped back in the ocean while they're alive. So the sharks are actually drowning, and the reason this is being done is because people in Asia eat shark fin soup. So all the 90 million sharks a year are being killed for shark fin soup, and it's this extraordinary slaughter that people don't really pay attention to, and no one's really talking about it because everyone's so scared of these sharks. So the idea was to kind of learn more about sharks and educate people about the reality of sharks.
Well, good. I'm glad, because people don't know. What we're doing to all of the animals on the planet is just, it's horrible.
It's also, I mean, sharks are a top predator in the sea, and if you take them out of the ecosystem, it changes the whole ecosystem of the sea. So it has actually ripple effects on all other species.
Right, right. It's horrible. That's just terrible. And who have you interviewed interesting lately? I know you, last time you were here, we talked about Obama.
President, which was, I actually interviewed a woman who you had on the show, a remarkable woman named Stradina Walker, who her 11-year-old son, Carl, killed himself about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And he was taunted in school. He was 11 years old, but kids in the school were calling him gay. And he couldn't take it any longer, and his mom says he just couldn't stand it any longer, and he hung himself outside his bedroom. And she actually, I mean, you had her on the show. She's this remarkable woman. She actually cut down the extension cord with a knife to try to save her son. And the following week, another 11-year-old boy, Gene Herrera, also killed himself after being taunted.
In Georgia, I think,
in Georgia, right, outside Atlanta. And so we've been on the show just focusing a lot on bullying. And you know, this is something that happens to kids, whether they're gay or not. I mean, they're 11 years old, but it's still... You know, it's not appropriate in schools for kids to call other kids by racial epithets, but it's still okay in many schools, still permitted to use slurs based on sexual orientation or perception of it. So, you know, we're trying to focus attention on it. So those are a lot of the interviews I've been doing lately.
Good, because I know that both the parents had gone to the school and tried to talk to the school and done everything they could, and still nothing was done, and then these poor kids are taking their lives. And
it's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're putting a lot of focus on that.
Yeah, well, it's great that you had her on as well. She's a remarkable woman.
All right, last time you were here, we both love games, and I think you may have
I played Celebrity for the first time with you.
Yeah, and you may have won last time, I'm not sure.
Oh, no, I won.
No, you may have.
No, I've watched the tape over and over.
I can't remember. Either you won or I won.
No,
but anyway,
I have it on a loop.
I don't know who won.
I have a copy in my pocket.
It may have been me, and it may have been you.
No, I've showed it to my friends, like multiple times, like every night.